What's everyone saying? It's your boy Someone Explores back again. It's sunny, it's beautiful. I'm here in northwest France in Nantes. In today's video, I'm going to be answering why does France love their trams so much? Let's have a discussion, let's ride some trams and let's see what they're all about.
Across the world, many cities have been undertaking massive redevelopment projects to improve their respective urban fabrics, stimulate economic growth, and make their cities an attractive proposition to potential residents, businesses, and tourists. France has been a trailblazer for the whole world in terms of using public transport projects as a tool to revitalize their cities. Here in Nantes, the tram system has been a symbol of the city's desire to adapt and grow as the population grew and the city moved away from a mainly industrial and shipping-based economy. Under the leadership of Mayor Jean-Marc Ayrault between 1989 and 2012, the city moved towards a service-based economy, also rebranding its identity to recognize its proximity to the Atlantic coast. In January 1985, the Nantes Tramway began operation, beginning the third iteration of trams in the city, with services running from Commerce in the city centre to Aluchère in the east of the city. Subsequent extensions made over the next 4 years resulted in services reaching the Stade de Beaujoire, Nantes football stadium, to the east, and Bellevue to the west of the city. Subsequently, 2 new lines were opened in 1992 and 2000, running from north to south, crossing the original line at Commerce in the city centre. Nowadays, Line 1, the original line, is 18.4 kilometers in length, running from Beaujoire or Français in the east, through the city centre, linking the railway station, the Château du Duc de Bretagne, and Commerce to Jamet and François Mitterrand to the west. Nantes Tramway was the first modern tramway to be built in France, although Saint-Étienne and Lille's original tram systems have stayed open all the way through, opening in 1881 and 1909 respectively. This new tram was a big deal, as it was a major project with a transport scheme of this scale, not seen in Europe since World War II. In Nantes, constructing a modern tram system has been an integral part of the regeneration of the city. Following the advent of the motor car and the expansive efforts to adapt cities to accommodate the increase of car usage, including wild expansion of urban freeways and wide roads, people realized, whoa, what's happened to my city? City centers became polluted and overcrowded with cars all over the gaff. Nantes tram was to be unique, integrated in the city center streetscape, running along wide boulevards as it headed out west, whilst running on ballasted track heading out east towards Aluchère. Under Mayor Alain Chénard, construction began in autumn 1981, but by 1983 he'd been out of office, losing the local elections. Interestingly, he was replaced with incoming mayor Michel Chauty, who held strong opposition to the tramways, but construction had gone too far along the line for him to cancel the thing, otherwise he would have had the city's and his political image thrown into the gutter. Opening in 1985, the trams were the first to use the revolutionary TFS, Tramway Français Standard, built by Alstom. These trams have gone on to be used in Paris, Grenoble, Saint-Étienne, and Reims. They're still cutting about the city today, in fact. I personally like them, but many probably don't. They don't have air conditioning, so it gets a tad warm during the summer. The trams aren't the best when it comes to accessibility. They've had to be retrofitted with level boarding, and their very old age can be felt. These bad boys are nearly 40 years old. Following the opening of Line 1, Line 2 was opened in 1992, eventually forming a line that runs from Orvaux-Grandval in the north through Commerce down to Rezé-Pont-Rousseau in the south. The tram also links the city centre with École Centrale de Nantes and Audencia Business School, the 2 big universities to the north of the city. Line 3 then came in 2000, eventually sharing the line with Line 2 between Commerce and Pirmil in Rezé, and the line runs between Marcel Paul to the north and Neustrie in the south. There's also been additional investment into the rolling stock with 32 Bombardier Incentras and 12 CAF Urbos 3s entering service. Now, when you look at a map of the tram routes in Nantes, you might also note a number 4 and a number 5, but I'll get to that in a bit. As I have mentioned, Nantes tram has been a leader in showing how light rail development can help transform a city. Numerous cities around France have followed in their footsteps and have been studied extensively in academic literature. Light rail development has helped improve a city's image, reduce the reliance on vehicular traffic into city centres, and linked previously poorly served neighbourhoods with economic centres. Grenoble in eastern France and their light rail system helped coin the phrase the Grenoble effect, which captures the way in which light rail was successfully integrated with wider urban development plans to transform the city centre into an aesthetically appealing place where pedestrianisation and public squares replaced private vehicle mobility spaces. Wide boulevards were also transformed from car thoroughfares and parking to areas specifically designated for public transport, in this case trams, and pedestrians. This is the case with Nantes. Nantes undertook a scheme of land reclamation filling in the former waterways around the Feydeau district. And to the north, Line 1 traverses the wide and open landscape, filled with green space, playgrounds, water features, and an area built to encourage foot traffic. It's a space where people could come and meet up, socialize, have a picnic, go on a date, propose to their girlfriend, and do some tram spotting. Even when walking around at 9 p.m. on a summer's evening, there was a feeling of safety and calmness, knowing that I could enjoy a glass of wine whilst the tram passes by, not having to worry about a rogue Peugeot trying to run me over. Down the road at Commerce, the Cour de 50 Otages, which is 50 hostages esplanade in English. Now home to Line 2 and 3, used to be an 8-lane expressway cutting through the city, and is now home to a much more sympathetic shared road for pedestrians, buses, cars and trams. If you head further north, which I couldn't really do because of roadworks and tramworks, the road curves east, and the tree-lined road along the river Erdre just look amazing. From a paper by Bouquet in 2017, this was written. Shop owners initially worried about losing their motorized customers were realizing that an appeased street environment could benefit them. Property owners could expect a substantial increase in value of real estate, both commercial and residential. And you see, this is what Français le Boulanger and Mayor Choty would have realized in 1992 when Line 2 opened. Studies looking at tram systems like Bordeaux's have shown that tram development would link parts of the city that were economically deprived, had low employment statistics, or were just isolated from other parts of their respective cities. As well as the tram being a tool to help produce amazing urban landscapes, remember, it's a method of transport that people can use to get around. And the company in charge, Tramway, which had been rebranded to Now Libre 2 weeks after I'd visited, and by extension the local government, have done a great job in attracting people to the system. Fares are very reasonable, €1.80 for unlimited rides in 60 minutes, €6.40 for 24 hours, and for tourists you can get what is called a Nantes pass, which includes free entry to a lot of Nantes tourist attractions, plus you get free travel on Nantes public transport system. Oh, and all bus and tram services, minus the Airport Express, are free to everyone on a Saturday and Sunday. It's amazing. Since 2000, there have been 20 new tram systems built in France, following in the footsteps of Nantes, but adapting it in a way that fits their respective cities. They've come in all shapes and sizes, from the 7-kilometer line in Reims, opened in 2011, to the 83-kilometer network in Bordeaux, which opened in 2003. I went down the road to check out the newly extended network in Angers, 30 minutes east of Nantes. Check out my video on how I got there here. Angers' tram system was opened in 2011 with Line A, originally running from Avrier-Ardennes to the north, through the city centre, past the railway station, to Rozeray in the south. The network had recently been extended. I visited less than 2 months after it opened. There are 3 lines now, A, B, and C. The extension added a second route through the city centre and 2 new spurs, one heading out northeast to Montplaisir and one heading out west to Belle Bay area of Angers, home to several of the universities in the city. Now, when it came to the development of some of these tram systems, aesthetics was an important thing to consider. In someone's mayoral office, someone said this: "If I want to improve my city's image and catalyze redevelopment, I don't want these pesky wires disturbing the nice views of those fancy buildings." Well, this was a case in a number of these cities. They didn't want to have wires and poles all across the gaff disrupting the nice scenery of their historic city centres. This is when the power of NIMBYism and transport nerdiness came together as one, and Alstom came in clutch in 2000 when they developed APS, Alimentation par le Sol. APS basically allowed cities to get rid of overhead wires and catenaries by having the tram's power being fed from the ground by a strip of metal between the rails. First introduced in Bordeaux following opposition to having catenary equipment in the city centre, the technology has been in places like Angers, Sydney, Australia, and Dubai. Nice in the south of France was also planning to use APS as a means to avoid having catenary across Place Garibaldi, but they went for a battery system instead. Here in Angers, APS has been used out in Avrier and in the historic city centre. Like here at Place Raymond, a stunning square. And across this new bridge, Le Pont des Arts de Métier. Don't worry, it's safe to stand on. It's only activated in blocks when the tram is very close. A big focus has also been on making sure that the trams themselves look nice, that they don't stick out like a sore thumb against the backdrop of the beautiful city. Alstom, who produced the very popular Citadis trams, are known not to just produce trams with varying liveries, but to design trams that have varying designs, decided by the respective local governments. I personally think that Tours has the best trams. Just look at that. Oof. The city of Angers built the trams here under the same pretenses of the cities. It would help redevelop the city, link new locations, and spur economic growth. In this case, the local government willingly ran Line A into the middle of nowhere, Avrier, with the anticipation that development would happen around it. And it's worked. There's new schools, homes, shops, and much more being built around the tram line. Closer to town, there's been active work to submerge the expressway that runs along the River Maine to create a new passageway along the river for pedestrians, repairing the damage of post-war car-based urban planning. The tram has been one part of this goal, and it is for sure working. Now, an important metric in judging a successful transportation system is how integrated the system is with other modes of transport. In Nantes and similarly in Angers, buses, trains, and cycle infrastructure have been carefully planned to intertwine with their respective tram networks. In Nantes, there have been 2 bus lines that have been constructed to link very well with the city's trams. Well, they're technically classed as busway, but these 2 lines on the tram network map, Line 4 and Line 5, have been built in a way where future works could convert the lines into full tram lines. Commencing in 2006, Line 4 runs from Foch Cathédrale in the city centre, heading out south to Porte de Vertou. It's known for being a long boy, operated with a set of Hess-like trams which are tri-articulated. It ran along Line 5, which began operation in 2020, running on more conventional articulated buoys from Nantes main station out west to Angers-à-Banane. The 2 busway routes really feel like trams in development, serving the Ile de Nantes, which has been undergoing immense regeneration over the last couple of decades. Retaining its industrial heritage, the island has grown immensely in popularity, becoming the trendy hipster part of Nantes, home of culture and music. Here, Nantes' most popular tourist attraction, Les Machines d'Île, brings people from all over to marvel at the wonderful engineering projects on show. And most importantly, the grey elephant. Down the way, when I was there was a free techno rave in a former part of the docks, open to all, with people of all ages having fun, enjoying the tunes and vibing under the French sun. It was amazing. I got to sit on the ground with a French pint and deep why I was so alone that no one could witness this urban heaven with me. Nantes shows how public transport investment, especially in light rail, can act as a tool to improve cities all over Europe and all over the world in that matter. Even across the pond, several cities have done light rail very well, including Portland, Oregon and Jersey City, New Jersey. But when you look back home, you look back at London, we're still waiting for a tram link extension to Bromley or Lewisham. Soon come, soon come, soon come.
Yeah, I'm here at Tourmaline tram stop out in the west on line 1. Français Mitterrand, the terminus is just down the road there. If you like the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I'm gonna go in, get some cookies, some biscuits and a drink, and head back home. I'll catch you in the next video. See you in a bit.